next question is yours, Alicia.
Yeah. Okay. Malia was trying to be a good person and check on Addison. When she turned on Malia, did it surprise you? No, because Addison is a biatch and she reacted exactly the way I expected her to. I was actually a little irked with Malia. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're undoing what you just did, sis.
Yeah,
You graciously gathered her, and now you want to go over
graciously,
there and like rub her back?
in the most
No,
godliest manner.
leave her alone. Yeah, let her sit there and cry. Let her think about it.
Let her soak a
Let her
little
sit
bit
there.
in them juices. Let her
Mhm.
soak in her tears.
That conversation could come later on. If Addison was to offer an apology or something somewhere down the
That
line.
ain't
But no, it
happening.
didn't surprise me that Addison snapped like that because she wasn't sorry about what she said to Malia. She had every intention of hurting Malia, and
Very much so.
you know, she just ended up biting off more than she could chew. I guess she
Oh,
didn't
that's what
expect
happened.
nobody expected Malia to pop back the way she did to the extent that she did. So,
Nobody.
no, I'm not surprised Addison snapped on her. No, no,
I agree.
no. She just humiliated her. She went
Right.
on to turn around and go, you were right, and I'm sorry. No, not Addison. She's still trying to save face. So
Right.
yeah, that didn't
Baby, all that.
surprise me.
All of that. What are your thoughts, Kyrie?
Um, little old naive me. I was surprised.
Praise God. Raise up. Put that finger up, baby. We got to get out of this church.
Yeah, I was surprised, and then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, of course, she's gonna act like that, And I've always been one to, give people the benefit of the doubt, and unfortunately, I have learned from doing that. But yeah, like you see somebody hurting, you don't think that they're gonna attack you, when you're trying to be there for them. That's not shouldn't be your first thought anyway. But after Malia's new, she's not new, but she's new. She's really in her naive phase too. She's really hoping people that are better than what they are, even though she's been burned a lot. She's still like, oh dang, let me go check on her and make sure she's okay. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I've done that, a lot myself in my life, and I've been burned a few times doing that too. And now that I've learned from that from those experiences, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to pray for you and walk away and not say
Mm-hmm.
anything anymore because you never know
Yeah.
what you're going to get.
It's above me now.
You just learn to mind your business and,
It's above me.
say a prayer and, go on about your way.
Amen.
Unfortunately.
Honey, take them all the way down to that church. Yeah. And I
Come through, Mother Kyrie.
come through, mother. She be taking my spirit to church. I'm gonna pray for him, baby.
You know how they always say like the sinner sweat in church? I'll be on this podcast and then Kyrie get to talking. I'm like, oh God, I think the Lord's convicted me on some things.
No,
Mother, mother,
mother in here
Mother
preaching
Kyrie.
real good, honey. She in high
Over here,
gear, honey, this morning.
bro, preaching that good word. Got me over here like,
Yeah, got
ooh,
me in here sweating and shaking. Praise her. Put that finger up in
heat.
there. Mm,
Come
feel it.
through.
Feel
Come through,
it.
Jesus.
The anointing. She blessed. Mother blessed. She real blessed. In Jesus' name. That's why I like what we have here, ladies. I like our dynamic because y'all just bring so much to the table, and because I be right there with Alicia. I'm like, we team petty. I don't care what's going on. And then, Kyrie brings me back to that other side where it's like, I'm really concerned about people. I want to make sure, you know, people are good, because in our hearts, you want to be that way. And I think when I wrote that part for Malia to go over to Addison, there have been moments in my life where I have walked over to people after they've done me dirty. even my own family members, to be honest. And I would always be so shocked and surprised when they would lash out. I'd be like, but I was trying to be a good person. Baby, this ain't got nothing to do with you, though. You can be as kind as you want to be. A wolf is still going to eat you, baby. Like, you're still a rabbit, and that's still a wolf. We need to recognize who people are. You know, I think we want to see the best in people, but sometimes there ain't nothing to see in there. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm going to say, while we're here in church, that's not my business. That's not my job to be God. See, God sees the heart, right? Like the Bible talks about how man look at the outward appearance, but God is looking at the heart, and that's what he's weighing, right? He's weighing the heart, the mind, the intentions, you know, and the actions, and are things lining up? Like, God's looking at so-and-so did that, but was their intent to try to hurt that person, or were they speaking without a filter and they just didn't realize? See, God knows the intentions of the heart. Man does not, right? So for me, when Addison behaved in that way, was I surprised? No, I wasn't really surprised. Because Addison's going to protect herself at all costs. Malia, seeing her in that moment, she wasn't going to be like, girl, take a seat next to me on this bench. Let's talk about what Vince has done. Let's talk about how bad my life has been. My daddy, he been cheating on my mama. And, you know, because there was a part in the last chapter where Malia revealed how Addison's father left her mama for the maid or whatever, and ended up down in Mexico. You know, the other woman. So here, Malia's sitting here thinking maybe she's going to have a come to Jesus moment. Maybe she's having some self-reflection and some humble pie. And she found out that no, baby, she was ready for a good tongue lash. And she was like, round 2, Malia, square up, let's go. Again. She lost it on Malia once again. Called her, I think, a whore. Talked about some, she's so over her and her fake Miss Independent mentality. You know, nobody wants your life. Like, but I didn't say that you wanted my life. So the fact that you accused me of thinking that you wanted it, see, it says to me that you do. You feel me? Because I didn't even say that. Why would you assume that I thought that? I think that this should be a very strong cautionary tale. That when somebody's embarrassed, let them soak in that embarrassment. And if they're truly sorry, let them be the one who reaches across the table first and be like, hey, I was thinking about this situation. Because you go and you try to be a Malia and walk over there, and then Addison is the big bad wolf she always has been. Don't let people's tears fool you. They could be crying while they still stabbing you in the back. People have tears in their eyes and still pull a gun on you and pull the trigger. Tears don't mean remorse. Sometimes people cry because they're angry. Sometimes people like Kyrie would always be like, girl, if you see me crying, I'm not crying because I'm hurt. I'm crying because I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? And those are dangerous people. Anybody who cries and is cussing and going, watch them, because you're going to get hurt. Like, they are not the people you want to play with. So I think that Malia misunderstood her emotion of seeing her, you know, hurt and vulnerable, and thinking, this is going to be a moment for us where we can put all this in the past. No, baby. She was like, I'm ready for round 2. What you got for me, Malia? So no, I wasn't surprised. She's the big bad wolf. She was doing what she was on her job. She was doing what needed to be done. She knew the assignment. So Malia didn't know the assignment. Okay, so next question is mine. It says, why did Addison say that Malia broke tradition by doing what she wanted to do? Clearly, the tradition was your family put you together with somebody else who's on your level, and you make wonderful little babies, and everybody's successful, and you continue on with this idea of being an elite group of Black people in this society. She broke tradition. She was with somebody, and then it didn't work out, and instead of her being like, okay, well, who's next? She was just like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I think that Mike was such a disappointment. I think Mike was so somebody who hurt her so bad that bouncing back wasn't the thing that she was interested. I'll just go and get with somebody else here in Rose City, one of Mike's friends who's newly single, and ready to mingle. She broke tradition because instead of her putting her focus on, let me put some beans in this oven. No, it was like, okay, Let me figure out how to baby beans. Beans. Let's put some beans in this oven. I think it was like, let me focus on myself. Let me get me together. Let me go after my dreams and my goals. Because clearly, all these people that I know who are married with children aren't even happy with these men who, are high valued. They all have these high valued lives, right? And everybody is over here with the wish list. The stuff ain't even coming from China, baby. It never showed up. And if it did, the outfit was this big. It was a Polly Pocket gear. Like, stop. It's not what you think it is. Remember Polly Pocket back in the day? Yeah. I wanted me some Polly Pockets, and my mom was like, no, you're going to lose them pieces. But some of them outfits come from Wish like that. Like, I haven't ordered it.
One. I know I had a couple, but I think you finally got one.
No, I never got no Polly Pocket. If I did, it was probably because somebody's mother. If I had a Polly Pocket, it was because somebody gave me something that they was getting rid of for their kids.
I think so. I remember trading outfits with you.
Girl, like I said, it was probably a situation with somebody at the hospital who knew my mama was getting rid of stuff and was like, I have a daughter who's a little bit older and we're getting rid of stuff. And I think I had one little Polly Pocket, but it wasn't because she bought it because she thought Polly Pocket was stupid. She was like, in this little tiny thing, you're going to lose all the pieces. And I mean, I did. I only had it for like a day or two. It was just hard to keep up with all that. And it wasn't Barbie. Like, I liked Barbie dolls because I knew if I laid her on the couch, even if she fell, I could see her. Like, if Polly fell, girl, she was gone forever until you got rid of that couch. But yeah, I think that Malia is in a place where she thinks that she can kind of conquer her own society when there's nothing to be conquered. I think the best thing that she can do is continue on breaking their foolish tradition of being unhappy. I mean, that to me seems like that's their tradition. Let's be unhappy, ladies. Let's look like we have it all together and we are high valued women with high valued husbands and high valued kids because we're better than everybody and everybody's unhappy. It's like in the show Bel Air, which I absolutely love. Carlton, they changed up his character a little bit and he's got a bad problem with cocaine. Like, I mean, he's doing coke, he's doing this. I mean, he's spiraling out of control. He drinks, right? But he eventually
I'm late to the party. What is this?
Bel Air. Have you ever heard of Bel Air on
No.
Peacock? So Bel Air is it's like what do you call it? Rendition of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but it's a dramatic. Yeah, and at first I was thinking, I don't know about that, but Will Smith came on as like one of the executive producers, maybe, and made it wonderful. So I was thinking, like, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, girl. Well, anyway, they got 2 seasons. You need that. You need that. Okay.
And I got Peacock. I actually got the paid
get it.
subscription.
Go watch today. No, baby, if you have the subscription, you're gonna thank us later. You want that in your life. That is called Bel Air. They basically reimagined what Will's life would have looked like, but from a dramatic perspective, and it's so good. They did it. They did it wonderfully.
Oh, girl, I'm not.
Carlton, honey, is a whole. You got to see that, honey. Make it on your list tonight.
Girl, they done switched it up with Jeffrey too.
Oh, baby. Okay, I'm sorry. Nobody needs to get that. Nobody needs to get that excited. Jeffrey.
Okay, so we are going to have a discussion. Okay,
Jeffrey.
after this, y'all both been on this.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey,
Okay.
honey. It's that Nigerian British swag for me, though. Okay. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, this is what I would think wonderful black cinema looks like. Like, if you're gonna do it, they did it so big. Like, you thought their little mansion last time was, they got a whole castle. I was like, Uncle Phil though too. He's something real nice. Oh, Uncle Phil, baby. Uncle Phil and Jeffrey. My God, and my king. All right. I got to go back to my question. Malia broke tradition. She did. She broke tradition. She did the things that she wanted to do. She wanted to carve out her own way. I think Malia was she was intent on following the course that was set before her. But because Mike did what he did, he married Bianca Ortega and stayed in Northern California and joined her father's very prestigious law firm. It changed the course of her life, because she let the big fish go. She was ridiculed. And, can you imagine showing up somewhere? You think you're going to marry this person, maybe he gave you a little toy ring or something. But, because the big ring is coming, this is something to hold you down. Let everybody know, keep your hands off my platter, right? So it's coming, right? Mike bought me a little ring, a little trinket of his love, his token of his affection. Where's the ring at? I said, oh, I had to take it off because he married somebody else. Could you imagine how embarrassing that was? And everybody's like, I mean, sis, he married another woman. He married an outsider. He didn't even marry one of us, girl. So Malia decided after that moment, it's time for me to find myself because I did all this wrong. I tried to allow my mother to be my guide into this world of Black privilege and beauty, and it wasn't what she thought it was going to be. And now she has people saying to her, you're setting the wrong tone. You need to be married by a certain age. You need to be having your children. You need to be building strong, amazing men and women who are going to lead this next generation of Black wealth and Black excellence. And you're not doing that. You need to be having a great husband who has an amazing job so you can be his cheerleader and you guys can be the perfect Black family together. And we need to keep this going. We may not like each other, but we're building something here. And this is what these women and this is what this society is all about. We don't have to like each other for us to make other people dislike us because they want to be us. We need to be the envy of everybody. You talking about like the Real Housewives of Potomac. I was like, what? I mean, them women down there. I was like, whoa, they are rich. Like they not playing. They on it, right? So this is what the ladies of Rose City are like. We need to stand out. We need to have people look at us and say, they are who we aspire to be. And you're breaking that by showing that you could be independent on your own. Who wants to be independent when you can have a man who's a boss? Malia's like, I'm okay. Again, she's not chasing a bag. She chasing her own bag. You know, she's not chasing somebody else giving her something. So that was my take on it. What do y'all want to say on that?
Yeah, I think they don't give Malia enough credit for what happened. Mm-hmm. She didn't set out intending to break tradition.
Right.
You know, she put up with Mike and his BS for a long time. She never said anything. All them times he didn't come home and visit. All them times he had to work late. All that, like, she put up with it because that's what she was taught to do. This is what men do. All that stuff. You know, and I don't think people give her enough credit for what happened. You know,
she didn't break tradition. Tradition broke her.
Tradition broke her. Exactly. Mike broke tradition. Mm-hmm. Mike did that junk to Malia, you know, and it devastated her so much so to the core of her, she had to sit back. And then when she sat back, she looked around at all the women in her life and she's like, I don't want this. This is not what I want, you know, and that caused her to choose something else, to decide to, you know, I want something different from my life. I don't want to do this. Is this what this feels like? Is this what, you know, and then I can imagine when she sat back and observed what was going on around her, hearing everybody that knew that he was engaged to somebody else. Nobody.
You know, they got the invite. You know, they got the invite to the wedding.
You know, they got the invite. Nobody said anything to her. They hid it from her, you know, and I think you touched on something so important, Corenna, where you were like, you know, they should have came to her and said, okay, I know this happened, you know, but this is what we do. You know, you got to get back up on your feet. And nobody did that. People in this community, instead of coming to you and having a heart to heart and helping you get back on track with tradition, they talk junk behind your back. You know, they want to trash your name and act like you did something wrong instead of say, hey, sis, and the women come together as a community to uplift you and help you through this time and get you back on tradition's path. You know what I'm saying? Right. That would have been a huge turning point for Malia. And nobody ever did that. Her own freaking mother didn't do that. Her grandmother didn't do that. And it don't even look like her sisters did it, you know?
They was focusing on getting their own mic.
Exactly. They're so caught up in, you know, doing what they got to do to stay in line, you know? And so I just, yeah, that's my take on it. So.
But I think you said something. Nobody came, even the women in her society, because now Malia is almost like she running loose. Who is she paired with now? If everybody's been paired, then who are you? So then what if, you know, Malik or somebody decides he's going to unpair himself from Cynthia and wants to now pair himself with Malia? You see what I'm saying? I think people were like, Okay, now she could become a threat. Everybody knew she was good tucked away with Mike, but now you running loose out here being single, and if they haven't gotten the ring and signed a piece of paper that says you are now a man and wife, kiss the bride. Now they're looking crazy like, so she might actually be some competition now. Dang it! You know what I'm saying? Somebody else to have to keep your eyes off of her. She's no good. See, because Mike didn't want her either.
Right. And I agree 1,000% with both of you. But especially like Kyrie, you really hit that right on the head
Mm-hmm.
about tradition breaking her. She didn't set
Mm-hmm.
out for any of this to happen. She tried to do it the way she was
Right.
told. She thought she was doing things right. Oh Lord, this is hitting a nerve with me.
Mm.
Um, because
Testify.
I guess in a sense I had to break tradition. Like I said, my cousins had stayed married, and I'm not trying to make it about me. It's just this
Why
particular
not?
question, and I'm
Why
like,
not?
wait a minute,
Right.
speak. When she said that,
Mm.
where it wasn't her, it was Mike that cheated. Mike
Yeah.
destroyed all that, yet he still looked at like he's some type of god or something, and
Right.
she's she stuck by his side. She tried to do everything right. She did everything she was told.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to follow that tradition, and then yeah, when it did blow up because of what Mike did,
She got the
nobody
blowback.
came to
Mm-mm.
her aid.
Mm-mm.
Nobody was like, hey sis, this is messed up. We're gonna hold Mike accountable. I'm here for you. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to be
Right.
here with you. I'm gonna hold your hand. We're gonna get through this. But no, they cut her down like a dog.
Right.
They cut her down for him cheating.
For him, G.
And so she's like, you know what? F all y'all. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do my own thing. And I don't care what none of y'all think about none of that. And you know
Right.
what? I think that brings back that jealousy,
Mm-hmm.
um, where I don't want to say who in particular, but I know there was some anger with
Right.
me that I was able to walk away from my situation and do better. I was able
Right.
to go to school. I was able to, get, my own place and all this other stuff. And the fact that she wasn't able to,
Right.
Corinna might know what I'm talking
Oh, I
about.
know what you're talking about.
And has always talked about, we're together for, I only stay with him for y'all. And it's only for it's for the
Right.
kids and blah, 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 blah. And, the fact that, well, we're going to bring it back to the story. They were
Right.
jealous
But you're
because their
okay.
husbands are cheating on them. Their
Right.
husbands are doing what Mike is doing, and they don't have the strength to, I was about to say
Yeah, and
Aaliyah.
it takes no, it takes strength to leave.
It
You know.
does. A lot of strength, a lot of courage. There's a lot. You ain't gonna know nothing. You gotta figure everything out from scratch.
Right.
And especially when nobody is there. If somebody
Right.
would have been there to support her and would have been like, okay, Mike's a piece of crap. Okay, listen, let me introduce you to so and so. This might be a better match for
Mm-hmm.
you. No, they talked about her. And so she's like, forget society. I don't need none of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So that's
So
all.
true.
Sorry to go down that little.
No, because this is what we do here. This is what it does. Like we read these chapters and then we ask these questions. Well, the questions are sent to us. We answer the questions, but we also relate the questions to really deep and personal things that are going on. And there would be no point of just having the book and just talking solely about the characters because that's fine. But there's so many layers and there's so much realness to this story that it's like we'd be crazy not to take those moments and reflect because it's very healing. You know what I'm saying? Like thinking about stuff, you're like, well, I haven't thought about that in years, or it touched something and let me experience that. Let me experience what those feelings feel like, as opposed to doing what we've always been told to do, and that's shut up. You don't need to be saying that. I'm gonna say what I want to say when I want to say now, because again, baby, I'm grown. Like when I was a kid, when you were a child, you stay in a child's place, but when you become an adult, you do as you want to do, baby. And I'm not saying you go around lighting the town up, but there needs to be a higher level of transparency and honesty and realness. And I also feel like Malia going through all that stuff that she went through with Mike, that was a slap in the face to Sandy. Sandy and Malia's relationship changed dramatically after the breakup between her and Mike, because like the book will reveal a little bit later on that her mother told her, you go down there and you get your man back. He's getting married in 2 weeks. What am I supposed to do? Crash the wedding? I object. Finger in the air. Excuse me. I object. Are you serious? So now we down here crashing weddings. He's made it very clear that he wants to be with this woman. So who am I to show up? And then all of a sudden, well, I'm going to be arrested and kicked out. That's going to cause more of a scandal. Malia's like, I'm not fighting for this. Could you imagine if she went down there and Mike was stringing her along, got a nice, romantic hotel and had a beautiful night of unbridled passion. And then he still woke up the next morning and said, I can't hurt Bianca. Like it would have been a homicide in that room. Like you used me. I don't even fly coach. This was first class. I spent my coin. You know what I'm saying? Here at this nice, 5-star hotel for us. Like she got the nice lingerie on too. I mean, like who has bad lingerie? We got to stop being like, you got the nice. That's my mama. Mom, they got the nice plates out for that. I'm like, Mom, all the plates are nice, but those are really nice. Okay, so they have the fancy ones. Okay, could you imagine going down there thinking I'm getting my man and we going back home together? But why would I want you? I mean, could you imagine even if he would have went back home with her? So now this $500,000 wedding that has been, planned for the last year or so, all that is non-refundable. That his stuff has already been paid for. Like, this is chaos. Who caused the chaos? Mike. And I'm going to welcome you back into my arms and into my warm bosom and let me make your favorite. I'm over here making oxtails and whatnot. No, I'm not doing that for you. You don't deserve it. Girl, stop. Let me stop. Because I can't. I cannot with that.